It's about that time of day again. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter, boys and girls. Back from quadruple witching break. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there as well. Can't forget about all of our fathers. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day. Hope you had a great quadruple witching. I missed you guys and gals last week. Always difficult to get unplugged for a few days, but it's in my trading plan. Every 90 days, the third week of every 3 months, it's time to, well, I talked about that before. Tonight, first day back after a break, Tuesday evening, June 23rd, 2015. We get a jam-packed newsletter in store for you. Markets are reacting to last week's Fed statement. We got issues in Greece. The soap opera in the Eurozone continues. I got a ton of stuff to talk about and a plan for tomorrow. Before we get into charts tonight, I do want to remind you I teach all of this to all of our students here at School of Trade. Grab a free trial at schooloftrade.com, and I'll show you exactly what we're all about. Also, 3 reasons why I'm going to encourage you to make sure you're watching this video on our trading blog here at sidewaysmarkets.com. 3 reasons. First reason is you can download all my charts today, all the charts from the video. You can download those by clicking that link right below the video on our trading blog. Second thing, I got a free pass for you. If you're not a member of School of Trade already and you'd like to come out and test drive our live trade room, I've got a special free pass for you guys and gals. Come out in a $10 live trade room, grab your free pass in the upper left-hand corner. And then the third thing, there was 3, I have a nightly newsletter mailing list. I'd love to send you an email every evening, right around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, when my nightly newsletter is ready to be viewed. That way you never have to worry about missing another newsletter. 3 things here on the trading blog. Download those charts, grab your free pass, and register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. Don't forget, if you grab the free pass or if you register for the mailing list, I'm going to send you a verification email. So make sure you check your inbox, spam, junk folders, and find that verification email so I can keep sending you emails in the future. Ready to go? Did you stretch? I know it's been a little bit of time since the last time we saw each other. Everything's a lot of sideways ranges right now. You can definitely tell summertime is settling in here. Let's jump right in here to the euro. Starting out with the 6E, the euro futures. Now we're trading the 9.15 right now on the euro, so nothing's different between the last time I saw you. And as you can see here, euro slips below the low of the channel, slips below the 200 moving average at 1300, and we are bearish and oversold here right now on the euro. Buyers, you guys have a short-term opportunity back up to resistance levels overhead. So buyers, you guys have that short-term opportunity up to the resistance areas overhead. But be careful there, because that's where sellers, wise sellers at least, are going to be entering this market to try to finish this move back down to these range lows around this 1070 to 1066 area that you see down here. Now, if you look at this chart, there's a couple different ways you can look at this chart right now. One way to look at it is it's one big trading range. Right, so here's your trading range. The buyers tried and failed, right, to push it and keep it above the highs. And what's going to happen if we fail at those highs? It's going to rotate. The sellers are going to try to rotate this all the way back down to these lows. So sellers, you guys definitely have a nice juicy target there at 1070 to 1066. Only a few ticks there difference. So 1070 sounds good to me here for a good target for you long term right now. As you can see, your 1043 is just about below where we were today. It's only a few ticks below today's low of day here on the euro. So again, buyers right now, you guys have short-term opportunities up to resistance before sellers are most likely going to try to force this thing all the way back down to its lows. So one way to look at this is we have nothing more than a trading range that's failed at the highs, and now we're going to see those sellers try to rotate that market back down to its lows, and then probably see the buyers try to push it back higher. You know, this trading range in the euro doesn't surprise me. You know, we're hearing back and forth about Greece, and I'm hearing now on news wires they're talking about an extension of the bailout program. Whatever the details are in Greece, it really doesn't matter, but you can definitely tell by looking at this chart, this thing it's having a difficult time getting out of this range. So we want to make sure we keep an eye on selling range highs, buying range lows, and it's going to rotate back and forth, and we're looking to capitalize on that rotation down to that range low. Another way to look at this is this bull channel. Here's another way to look at this. We were looking at this bull channel last week before I took off on you guys for my Saharan-style wedding. My brother was married in Scottsdale, Arizona last weekend. Got a chance to celebrate Father's Day with the whole family. We got a couple generations of dads that were there. It was a great time. Extremely hot in Scottsdale, Arizona. I would have chosen a few other venues for this time of year, but it was still pretty darn well. So before I left for the old wedding last week, we talked about this channel. Now, the way I see this bull channel is we have an undershoot of that channel high, and usually we can expect just about the same amount that we got for the undershoot in an overshoot. As you can see, it's almost as if there wasn't any support there at all. So that tells me also that if we did happen to think here that we're bullish, think a little bit again here, because again, the undershoot of that channel high, right? Remember what's going to happen here. We're going to rotate low to high, high to low, low to, yeah. So it undershoots that channel high. So just like a trading range, a channel will act the same way. Rotate from low to high, high to low. So the objective is to get to that high. It fails to reach its objective. We project it on the opposite side, and it just slices right through it like a hot knife through butter. So now we have reason to believe that we're not as bullish as we may think we are because of that old channel. Bottom line is, I would definitely expect this price to want to go higher here before it goes lower. Buyers, be ready for those short-term opportunities. If we do just collapse down in, you're going to want to get to it quickly, because I'm very hesitant to say sell below this 1070 area right now. The next target will be down here around this 0967, but I would definitely be looking for the most opportunities between these range highs and range lows right now as we rotate back down. So stay to the downside here on that euro. Buyers, you guys have a small window of opportunity here right now, so get to it quickly. So you want to talk about sideways markets right now, eh? All right, well, we'll move to the crude here. Another example of a bit of a sideways range here right now. I see lower highs, I see higher lows, and I see a flat as a board moving average right in the middle. This is so sideways right now on this 16 anchor chart of the 815 contract on crude. It's so sideways that it's very difficult to give it any type of directional bias, right? It really is. You don't get much directional bias on this chart right now. So once again, pretty much same thing like we said on the euro. The only difference here now is we have some trend lines that we're able to draw in here. This kind of gives us that price wedge that we've illustrated there. You know, this is going to be a very simple plan of attack here. And don't forget, we have inventories tomorrow on Wednesday. So this market is going to get more difficult to trade before it gets easier, right? Remember these inventory reports every Wednesday. As long as the markets weren't closed on Monday, every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., crude oil inventories. A little bit of that self-fulfilling prophecy where people sit on hands, they trade a little bit less often, less frequently on these Wednesday reports. So bottom line is tomorrow we got to get to this market quickly, got to get to this chart early in the session tomorrow for the best tradable opportunities. Once we get past 10 a.m. tomorrow, again, 10:30 a.m., we have the inventory report tomorrow. Once we get past 10 a.m. tomorrow, the majority of the professional traders, the ones who actually have a job to do, they're not just speculating and gambling out there. You know, once we get past 10 o'clock, the professionals are out of the market. So you want to get to it quickly and then wait until about 10:45, right? 10, 15 minutes after that news event comes out before you start looking to place your next trades. My opinion is crude oil, get to it early and really be careful trading on Wednesdays within about a half an hour of that news report, because it's a lot of gambling, a lot of predicting, a lot of rookies and retail traders trading off their eye watches. You know what I mean? So professionals aren't really in the market, and we want to participate during times when they are. Bottom line, without even worrying about the inventory report tomorrow, which does tell us to be careful tomorrow between 10 and 11, we know we're going sideways. How do we trade this? just like a trading range, just like a channel, this market's going to want to rotate from high down to low, down to high, down to low. So bottom line is we're looking to sell at the highs, take profit, and look to buy at the lows. There's no real directional bias in this chart, as you can see. It's pretty darn neutral. Usually we have a chance, a slight bullish bias to it, but I mean, look at all this stuff over here. Very difficult to call that a bullish bias. So our plan is to sell the highs and buy the lows of this range. One thing we do not want to do, besides trading right on top of the news tomorrow morning, we want to stay the heck away from the middle of this range. So around this, we'll say 60.50 to 60.25 area, you really got to be careful in the middle. So your best trades right now, I would love it if I wake up tomorrow morning and I see us up around these highs, because then we'll be looking for the buyers to fail at these highs and sell it back down. Vice versa, if we were to push down to, say, the measured move support down here, then we could buy it back up. So what I'm looking for, and if you're a student of mine, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We made almost all of our money today in the trade room by looking for these things. We want to find failure patterns at the highs. Look for the buyers to try and fail at the highs. Whoops, right? Sell those highs. And then again, if we end up down at these lows, look for the sellers to try and fail, right, to buy those lows. I think the easiest way you're ever going to make money in an environment like this, where we're seeing a range-bound market, is wait for price to get up to these highs and then wait patiently for the buyers to try to buy a pullback. You know what a pullback looks like. If you don't, right, come out and see me tomorrow in the trade room. We're watching it in real time. Remember, you're not alone out there. You might be watching this by yourself right now, but you're not alone in your career. We've got a great trade room and a great chat room where we'll do all this in real time. Most important thing, though, for tomorrow is, as we get up to these highs, be looking for those buyers to try and fail. And then my plan for tomorrow is, at the highs, I'll be looking for ways to sell right into those stop losses from those buyers. Target now will be back down to the range lows. We go down to the range lows, take our profit on the sells, look for sellers to try to sell at the lows, right? Those uninformed traders who are not aware of this range right now, and buy into those stop losses from those bears. Okay? Looking for failure opportunities, buyer failure at the highs, seller failure at the lows, and I'm staying the heck away from the middle of this range right now, and also away from the time when the news comes out tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Let's keep going. Now that we have our crude oil under control here, how about we keep moving here to the Emini, right, the S&P 500. ES did have rollover last week, so don't forget we're on the 915 here on all of the E-minis right now. So pretty much everything except for gold and crude is on the 915 right now. Another range-bound market. Now, a couple clues we see on this one, right? Again, you can see here, range highs marked up top, range lows marked up at the bottom. This is pretty much our trading range right here. We do have this relatively consistent channel pushing higher here, and this gives us a little bit of a bullish tone to it right now as we go up to test those highs, but that's where it's going to most likely end. This S&P has been pretty range bound the past week or so, so we definitely want to be aware of that larger range and play the larger range effectively. E-mini S&P is trading inside a range, trying to test the range highs before filling the weekend gap. Now, sellers will be looking to try sellers be looking for the buyers to try and fail at the range highs with a target back at the weekend gap. And of course, we got support levels marked up for you below. Buyers, you guys got to stay patient and wait for a pullback right now to support levels before they get the easy money opportunities. So right now, once again, very similar to crude and very similar to the euro. We're waiting for now price to get up towards these highs. Buyers keep trying, sell right into those buyer stop losses, right? They're sell stops at that point, and that'll allow you to sell this range high. If you're a buyer right now, though, you really got to be careful. We're well above the 200 moving average at 97 3/4. We're also seeing a weekend gap. Now, gaps don't happen very often. Summertime trading, this is technically summertime trading. Summertime trading, you're going to see more of these. This gap, though, is definitely coming after last week's quadruple witching, right? We saw it. We had Fed Day last week. We had quad witching last week. So that's definitely where that gap's coming from. Gaps love to get filled. So I would definitely expect price to pull back lower before it goes higher. And buyers, you guys can wait for that pullback right now. So if you're a bull right now in the S&P, use this short-term bull channel. Use that weekend gap and wait for price to come back, fill the gap, and then look for that deep, easy money pullback as we try to make our way up to those range highs. So sellers, if you notice this price, right, you're going to have a very short-term opportunity here for you bears out there to sell down to that weekend gap, right? So be aware of that. Very short-term opportunities if you're a seller as we go down to retest that gap. Buyers, you guys are then going to swoop into action here and look for buying opportunities off of this support level tomorrow, okay? Where we go, though, is most likely going to result in retesting these range highs. I'll be a little bit surprised if later on this week we haven't found a way to retest those range highs. Remember, we're going to rotate, right, from highs to lows, back to highs, back to lows, unless something changes, right? Unless the opinion of value between buyers and sellers shifts for whatever reason. We have some very bullish news today in the U.S. We've got more news coming out this week. So I would expect this market to get up to these highs here eventually. So our plan, once again, if price goes lower, sellers, you get a very short-term opportunity here, but don't force it below that 2.5 area because you're going to see buyers once that gap is filled and after we test that support level. So sellers, very short-term opportunities. If we go lower before the buyers will step in, right, and look for buying opportunities back to retest these highs. If we go straight up here, I'm looking for buyers to try. You know where their stops are going to be, and I'll be looking for those buyers to fail at these highs, and then I'll use the target back at the weekend gap. Okay, so that gap's going to be a really important piece of information here. If we sell the highs, it's going to be a great target. If it pulls back, that's where you're going to have buyers waiting to get in long here once we refill that gap right around, again, around that 0.2 area you can see on the chart. All right? If we do happen to keep pushing higher, we did get some very strong bullish news. We've had very encouraging housing starts, new home sales, pending home sales the past few days. So if we do see this market really take here, you get that extension target overhead at about 34.5. So we'll definitely be using that if you are a bull right now, and of course we see some good strong bullish tone. I don't think we're going to be able to do it that easily, though. That range high, I'm going to be very suspicious at that range high, looking for those buyers to try and then fail, right? I'm not going to guess. I'm going to wait for that reversal or buyer failure. I'll wait for proof before I go selling that high. There's your plan tomorrow for the E-mini S&P. And then how about this gold? We have been waiting on the gold, and the gold has been giving us a ton of easy trading opportunities for the past 2 weeks. We've had, this has been the same bear channel. I mean, very little needs to be done to update this chart every evening right now. We have this bear channel coming down, and as I've been saying in the past, what was it? When was the last time we saw this thing? This is in early June, so almost 3 weeks ago, we said, all right, our target here now is going to be 62.7. So sellers are going to try to get it down. We had a selling opportunity there. We gave you guys, this was a sell zone from last week. So it went all the way up into the sell zone, comes back down. So very, very consistent across the board here on gold. We are bearish. You just keep on looking for opportunities as this price rises into resistance. You keep looking for those selling opportunities at resistance levels here on the gold, and then keep on using support levels below you for the best profit targets right now. So if I'm a bear right now on the gold, I've got selling opportunities waiting for me overhead. I have targets waiting for me down below, with really the big target is going to be 62.7. If we can get to 62.7, that's going to put that stamp of approval for those sellers, and we should see a continuation right in the coming weeks as we push lower. So gold is bearish on the way back, all the way down to those range lows at 62.7. That's our big hefty target for us right now. Sellers will look for retracement opportunities at resistance levels overhead. Buyers, you guys really have a difficult job right now if you're a bull right now. Buyers need to stay patient and wait for times where sellers try to sell resistance levels overhead and where they fail. That's pretty much all you can do right now as a buyer right now, right? Very, very short-term buying opportunities. If you're going to buy in this downtrend right now, remember, it's got to be a scalp until proven otherwise. So take a quick profit, and lock down that stop, right? Remove the risk and try your best to hold on to as much as you can get here. If you're a bull right now, you've got some targets waiting for you overhead. I would also recommend that if you're a bull, you wait for the sellers to try and fail. Use that 1200, use that 1204.2, use those milestone areas on the chart for your targets here. But again, if you're a bull right now, be very, very careful here. Sellers, you guys have control. Just simply stay patient right now and wait to sell all of the resistance areas here overhead. 3 different ways I can sell short at resistance. I can take a reversal pattern. I can look for a failed buyer pattern. I can also wait for the turn and then sell those rips right on the way back down with wave patterns. Guys, you got your areas of interest. You've got your targets waiting for you below. Now all we need is the market to do its thing, and we'll be getting some great trading opportunities here on gold, euro, crude, and the S&P. Before I wrap things up here, though, first newsletter back from the break. And I want to thank you guys for sticking around with me here. I apologize for not being here on Monday. I had to ship off the rest of the family members to all over the planet, back to the East Coast, back to Europe. They're everywhere here now. Had a great holiday. Hope you guys did too. If you got some free time here, though, I want to remind you all, head over to schooloftrade.com. Join the free trial. You can learn a lot more about who, what, where, when, and why, everything it means to be a student here at School of Trade. I'll also shoot you over a free pass as part of our free trial to come join the trade room as a guest. We have 3 levels of membership. We have lifetime memberships here, beginner, intermediate, and advanced courses. We have a place for everyone to kickstart a career. And that's exactly what we do here at School of Trade. We help new traders and experienced traders launch a successful, scalable career in the financial markets. And as I always say, I know you might be alone out there watching this video newsletter right now, but you're never alone in your trading career. We get a great team here in our corporate headquarters in Los Angeles. I look forward to speaking with you, and we got live support 24/7, 365 if you need it. My name is Joseph. We got a quick week here, first week back. Monday I wasn't here. We're Tuesday evening now. Wednesday, Thursday. We got a few more days this week here, and we're going to continue to see the impact of last week's quad witching and last week's Fed announcement here as these markets open up here this 4th week of the month of June. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful summertime weather. Thanks for sticking around with me here this evening. Should we do it again tomorrow? Trade room opens up at 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for students here at School of Trade. 8 p.m. Eastern time for our newsletter. Same time, same place. You guys be well out there and be nice to each other. I'll see you guys then. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.